This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video on my own personal YouTube channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. As always, it is very much appreciated. Right, we're in a position soon to really start to nail down entries ahead of the English Classic, the UK Derby. This coming weekend, I think we're going to chance one more ahead of the race. We've got other possibles lined up from the Guineas and other videos making their classic debuts. But I don't think it's possible to ignore this horse. So we're going to take a look at the horse in a moment. But first, where can people find these horses? ClassicWatch25.great/site.net is where people will be able to find these horses. You'll see that the Roll of Honour is getting strong now. Australia, Japan, the USA, the UK, Ireland and French-based horses, all on the site. We're hoping to get a few German-trained horses on the site at some point when I can actually find a horse. I've got 2 videos done, but they've not really set their ground alight this year yet. And it's also the Belmont Stakes this weekend as well, out in America, the final leg of the American Triple Crown. There's the Roll of Honour. You'll see I do try and add the listed races or the pattern races and above by the possibles, the horses as they entered on the site. But I do sometimes struggle throughout the season to enter it. For instance, you'll see there that Henri Matisse and Camille Pissarro have got no classic victories this year, that sort of thing. But yeah, the site did well. The site's doing well. It did 8 classics on the trot not so long ago. And a lot of them, 4 of them are out this weekend coming. Four of the 8. And it also did 2 out of 2 last weekend with Croix de Nord and Camille Pissarro. ClassicWatch25.great/site.net. But now it's time really to look at a fascinating horse, I think, Delacroix. A horse who, despite having raced 7 times, has already won 3 pattern races. Delacroix, a 3-year-old colt trained by Aidan O'Brien and owned by Coolmore, sired by Dubawi out of a dam called Tepin, who herself was sired by Bernstein, and Delacroix was bred by the Tepin Syndicate. People see Delacroix could arguably the horse now getting very close to the finished article. You would think the horse has never been out of the first 2. In 7 starts in his career, 4 wins and 3 seconds, running to a best racing post rating so far of 117, when he beating Purview by 2 3/4 lengths, when he won the Group 3 on his most recent start, the Cashel Palace Hotel Derby Trial Stakes at Leopardstown. That was his 3rd Group 3 victory. He's also already beaten subsequent pattern race victory and a horse that already lines up in the Derby as well, Lambourne, in another Group 3 earlier in the season when he took out the Ballysack Stakes, also at Leopardstown, by 2 1/4 lengths. And he was also a Group 3 winner last season in 2024 when he came over to the UK, over to Newmarket, and took out the Group 3 Autumn Stakes over a mile. The horse ran then a very creditable race at Doncaster, running to a mark of 116, beaten the nose by Hot as Hell, who I think might have been classic placed in the Irish Guineas in the William Hill Futurity Trophy Stakes, the old Racing Post Trophy, last year at Doncaster. Didn't get off the mark first time out. Was beaten by Green Impact, a horse that has been running in classics first time out. And then he beat one of mine, actually, Acapulco Bay, second time out, running to a mark of 89. Green Impact beat him again then in the Group 2 Champion Juvenile Stakes, where the horse ran to a mark of 104, dropped down in grade slightly, off the mark at Newmarket. And then you have to say the last 3 runs have been pretty solid. You know, there's 120 rated Guineas winners in the Derby. If he used to beat these comfortably, I think the horse will be well above the 120 mark then. This is his first classic of the season, so in a way, he is a bit behind some of them. But he's also already won 3 Group 3 races and never been out of the first 2. Like I said, very interesting horse. People will see They've missed a run off already on the pedigree online thoroughbred database, but they're right on the thing we need the site for. 1N. I don't really like to rely on the form of this site for recent horses, but it gives us a rough idea of where we are. 1N on the dam lines, so we can take a look now at Delacroix's pedigree and see is if this horse really is destined for the very top of racing. It looks like people are saying he's the favourite for the Derby, classic winner in waiting, and top class future prospect still. But the horse has had 7 runs. He's not an unexposed horse, is he? By any stretch of the imagination. So how much improvement has this horse got in him? That's what people need to be able to try and ascertain, I think. So we're going to take a look at the pedigree of the horse now, Delacroix. We're going to take a look probably at the first 5 dams of the horse. We're going to try and pick up every decent horse we can find along the way. And we can also then watch the horse win 3 Group 3 races today. We're not going to watch him win the second time out. We're going to focus on the pattern race victories of the horse and watch him win again in them 2 Group 3s this year and the Autumn Stakes last year. Right, before we even get to the dam of the horse, Delacroix, we're looking at Group 1 winners. Grateful, a filly, born in 2021. Delacroix's older sister, sired by Galileo, out of Tepid. Grateful raced 7 times in her career, finishing first 3 times and third once more. Earnings of €225,045 and £20,190 UK pounds. This horse, I'm sure, delighted connections when she followed up her Group 3 Stanera Stakes victory at Fairyhouse with a win in the Group 1 Prix de Royaux at Longchamp around the Arc time. Also third in the Group 2 Park Hill Filly Stakes. Group 1 and Group 3 winner last season. Grateful. The dam. Well, people might remember the dam. She was a Royal Ascot winner, Tepid, a mare. Born in 2011, sired by Bernstein. Very good horse, Bernstein, 1X stallion. I didn't know that at the time. Very closely related to horses like Sky Mesa and Maxfield, horses like that. Shame, really, that I didn't know that at the time. Sired by Bernstein out of a dam called Life Happened. People will see that Tepin, a superb race mare as well, as a Group 1 producer already of 2 black type horses. Tepin raced 23 times in her career, winning 13 of 23 starts, finishing second 5 times and third once. 19 of 23 starts in the first 3. Earnings of $437,918 in her career. What a magnificent mare. On the track she was. At 2, she won the Group 3 Delta Princess Stakes of 2013. At 3, she didn't really fire at 3. Group 2 placed in the San Clemente. Don't know whether she's injured or what. But at 4 and 5, she really filled her boots. At 3, she won 3 Group 1 races at 4 in 2015. Excuse me. She won the Breeders' Cup Mile, the Just a Game Stakes, the First Lady Stakes, and also the Group 2 Churchill Distaff Mile. Second in the Diana Stakes as well. And at 5, she won 3 more Group 1 races. We started to travel her a bit then. She won the Jenny Wiley Stakes in America, the Woodbine Mile in Canada, and she also won the Queen Anne Stakes at Royal Ascot in the UK, as well as taking out the Hillsborough Stakes, Grade 2, as well as the Churchill Distaff Turf Mile and the Endeavour Stakes as well. Group 3, second in the Breeders' Cup Mile and the First Lady Stakes of 2016 as well. Inducted into the 2022 Racing Hall of Fame, 2015 and 2016 Eclipse Champion Turf Female. What a horse. She's already produced 1 black type producer before sadly dying in 2023, unfortunately. So I think this colt, Delacroix, might be the last one out of Tepid. So the triple Group 3 winner, has he done enough to get himself at stud, irrespective of what happens? More than likely. So we'll have to hopefully the horse, though, can improve further. Other horses, though, this is a funny old line, this 1N, parts of it. Couldn't really find a lot. There isn't a lot, really, on this line directly. I did find a few, so we're going to look at them now, but nothing in comparison to some of the others. Vijak is an interesting gelding, born in 2010. Sired by Into Mischief out of Life Happened. So this horse here is a half sister to Tepin. Vijak raced 31 times in his career, 8 wins, 7 seconds, 3 thirds. Good horse in his own right, wasn't he? 18 of 31 in the first 3. Earnings of $1,427,600 No back number at all. Vijak, you'll see there he won plenty of stakes races. At 3, in 2013 he won the Group 2 Jerome Stakes and the Group 3 Gotham Stakes and was placed in the Wood Memorial. In 2014 he won the Group 2 Kelso Handicap and was placed in the 4 Go. At 5 the horse was placed in a Group 3 race. At 6 the horse won the Group 2 City of Hope Mile and was second in other pattern races. And at 7 the horse was second in a Group 2 race. So what we got? We got the horse has been placed in 2 Group 1 races and is a dual Group 2 winner, triple Group 2 winner, and the Group 3 winner as well. So a good horse. Officially retired from racing, in June 2018 to be retrained at Matchmer Hall. So yeah, sadly injured on track, but they managed to save the horse and retrain him. Good horse, Vijak, the gelding. Another one I found was Prime Cut, another gelding, born in 2008, sired by Bernstein again, out of Life Happened. So this is a full brother, is it? To Tepin, yes. Prime Cut raced 14 times in his career, 3 wins, 2 seconds and 4 thirds. So he weren't too bad either. 9 of 14 in the first 3. Earnings of $167,426. Prime Cut at his best was placed in the Group 2 Peter Pan Stakes and the Group 3 Lexington Stakes of 2011. Sadly suffered a career-ending injury and retired in 2013. Sold and retrained into a second career as a show jumper and hunter, 3-day eventer, I suppose he would be classed as, in the UK. But yeah, very good horse. Again, placed in some decent races there, some Derby trials in his day. They all pale into significance with Tepin, though, don't they, really? This one's interesting. This horse never raced and has gone to stud. Alliance, sired by Harlan's Holiday out of Life Happened, so another half-sister, half-brother to Tepin, unraced due to injury. Entered stud in 2018 at Bonita Farm in Darlington and Maryland. And the horse is still at stud there. You can see the horse there. The stud fee of £4,000. An unraced stallion, very rare, probably, I would say, but not as very more rarer than unraced mares anyway. But you'll see that in 4 crops, the horse has only foaled 34 horses. 23 of them have ran. Between the 9 of them have won 18 races, so some of them have won more than once. You'll see that there's no stakes winners whatsoever, though. They've all ran in the USA, apart from 2 that have ran in Central America. Mathman Marco has won 8 times. So that's pretty much half of the horse's wins. But yeah, very lightly used stallion, well-bred horse to Tepin. I'm sure someone is enjoying him at Bonita Farm. Very well-bred horse, just a shame they never got to see him on the track. Second dam of the horse, Life Happened. Second dam of Delacroix, and they're born in 2001, sired by Stravinsky out of Round It Off. Life Happened, you will see, is unraced, the second dam. But yeah, I did find an interesting horse related to it, a stallion, Disco Rico. I can't remember this horse at all. Horse born in 1997, sired by City Dancer out of Round It Off. So this is a half-brother to the second dam. Disco Rico raced 17 times in his career. Was actually in the first 3 in 15 of 17 starts. 9 wins, 5 seconds and a third. Earnings of $532,244. Disco Rico managed to win the Group 3 Jersey Shore Breeders' Cup Stakes at Monmouth Park. And he also won the Group 3 Maryland Breeders' Cup Handicap at Pimlico. And Group 2 third in the General George Handicap as well at Long Park. Placed in the Group 3 race as well, the Amsterdam Stakes at Saratoga. Won some other stakes races as well that they pad out for him with in America. He's the 2001 Maryland bred champion sprinter. They also entered stud in 2002 at Maryland and he went to New York in 2008 before suddenly being euthanised in 2014 after a 2-year battle with laminitis. If people go to Aryan Pedigrees, they will find a horse called Disco Partner, and they will see that Disco Rico is in fact the stallion of that horse. So he did manage to produce a stallion himself. You'll see there, he entered stud in the USA in 2002, sire of 214 progeny to race, 167 of them won, earnings of over $23 million, and the horse himself signed 12 stakes winners and 14 stakes place getters. Disco Partner is probably the best, won the Group 2 Jaipur Stakes, won it twice, once when it was a Group 2 and once when it was a Group 3. He's placed in it as well when it was a Group 1. Well, what a funny old race that is, the Jaipur Stakes. Placed in the Group 1 Breeders' Cup Sprint as well in his day. Well, La Chica Rica was winning stakes races then, so just that one horse really, and then a few of them American stakes races. There's so many of them. So the horse did sire a few decent horses. Disco Rico, Cap Classique. There's another one I found. Cap Classique. You will see that Life Happened is out of a dam called Round It Off, and Round It Off is the third dam of Cap Classique. It took a good look, this line. I enjoyed it. Cap Classique, a filly, born in 2021, sired by Vino Rosso, another well-bred horse, out of Skadoodle. You'll see there, Round It Off, the third dam. I think Vino Rosso is related to Gunrunner somewhere along the line. I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. No, not Gunrunner, the Argentinian horse, Candy Ride. Cap Classique, 2021, 8 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds and a third. So in the first 3 in 6 of 8 starts. Earnings of $191,900 US. Cap Classique has won some stakes races, won the Smart Halo Stakes, and also placed in others. Like I said, there's not much I could find on this line. This was one of the best I could find. You know, a stakes winner that had been placed in other stakes races that won first time out. I'm going to have to click on Vino Rosso now just to see, make sure he is related to Gunrunner. What we're looking at, Mythical Pride, Flaming Heart, and Hot Lear. That must be further back if he is. And on the damn side, yeah, Mythical Bride, yeah, I was right. I knew he was. Good style. Good doesn't seem to be happening for him though, does it? Vino Rosso. Cap Classique won a stakes race. Assertive Style is another one I found. That's another one that's out of Round It Off. Assertive Style, a filly, born in 2018, sired by Nyquist, out of Skadoodle again. Assertive Style's raced 19 times in her career, 5 wins, a second and 4 thirds. So again, 10 of 19 in the first 3, and earnings of $200,214 US. Assertive Style again at her best was third in the Group 3 Vagrancy Handicap at Belmont of 2022. Age 7 now, probably. Has she had any foals? I don't see any on the sheet, so I don't presume that she has. Round It Off. We are now at the third dam of Delacroix. Round It Off, born in 1990, sired by Appalachia, out of Capitoff. Round It Off raced 20 times in her career. She managed to win 3 times. In the first 3, 8 of 20, 3 wins, 2 seconds and 3 thirds. But she only earned $46,027 US on the track. People see Round It Off as third in one of those stakes races in 1993, the Gala Lille Stakes. I mean, that's one of a million races like that that makes them look a bit better than what they are. I've always stopped at Group 3 and above in America for this reason. The next one we're going to take a look at is Miss Sloopy, an interesting mare, born in 1991, sired by Sloopy, out of Capitoff. So this is a half-sister to the third dam of our horse. Miss Sloopy raced 26 times in her career, won 14 races. She was placed in 6 and finished third in 2. 22 of 26 starts in the first 3. Earnings of $535,863 US. Again, good horse. Winner of the Group 2 Ladies Handicap and winner of 2 Group 3 Carousel Stakes. Very good filly. Group 2 and dual Group 3 winner. Miss Sloopy, very worth considering. Cap it off, the fourth dam, a mare born in 1982, sired by Doubles Use, a horse I'm not at all familiar with, out of Turn Cap. Cap it off raced 18 times in her career, managing to win 9, and she was in placed second 3 times and third 3 times. 15 of 18 starts in the first 3. Very well placed at her level, the fourth dam. Earnings of 213,803 US dollars. Cap it off again. She managed to be finished placed in the Interbra Handicap, the Group 3 Interbra Handicap of 1987. She actually won plenty of her stakes races, though. She won 3. She won the Nellie Morse Handicap, the Maryland Distaff Handicap, and the Keybridge Stakes. Also placed in races like the Regret Stakes. That might be a pattern race now, I think that is. Yeah, very decent fourth dam. Cap it off. She did well, it's fair to say. Smoke Glacken. That's an interesting horse. A horse born in 1994, sired by Two Punch out of Majesty's Crown. People will see that they look that Turn Cap is the third dam of this horse, Smoke Glacken, who again, very prolific, only out of the first 3, once in 14 starts. 10 wins, 2 seconds and a third. Earnings of 759,560 US dollars. It's not just tepping this horse. Nice horses on this line occasionally. Smoke Glacken, Group 1 winning 2-year-old. He won the Hopeful Stakes of 1996, and he also won the Group 2 Saflin Stakes at Monmouth at 3. The horse won the Frank G. de Francis Memorial Dash in Group 2, the Group 3 Southwest Stakes, the Group 3 River Ridge Stakes as well, the Jersey Shore Breeders' Cup Stakes, Group 3 at Monmouth. Also second in the Group 2 Lexington Stakes, a race that is now a Group 3 race, and third in the Group 3 Louisiana Derby. I'm pretty sure that race has been upgraded. Good horse. Smoke Glacken was a 1997 Eclipse Champion Sprinter and stood at Gainesway Farm, Lexington, until he was pensioned off, sadly, until in October 2013, sadly dying in 2016 due to the infirmities of old age. This was a good stallion. If people look at a horse like Balavia, a horse I found, they will see that Smoke Glacken is the dam sire of this horse. Sired a lot of horses. 828 foals by Smoke Glacken were foaled. 732 of them ran. 589 of them won. And the horse sired 60 stakes winners in his career. So, yeah, definitely no back number, that stallion. If Delacroix does well as him, if he goes to stud, and sires 60 stakes winners, I think people will be absolutely delighted about that. So, yeah, very interesting horse, Smoke Glacken, and I was pleased to find him, it's fair to say. Turn Cap, we're at the fifth dam now, a mare. Born in 1972, 2 years before me, sired by Turn to Reason, out of Capped. Again, 44 starts, and she managed to win 20 of them and finish second in 33 of them. Third in another 3. So she was well placed in her career, earning 137,975 US dollars. There's very interesting fillies at the back of Teppin's Pedigree that won a lot of races. Turn Cap, people will see that she was placed third in the 1976 White Marsh Handicap, a Group 3 race. She won it again, them stakes races again. Placed in the Majorette Handicap, she won the Scarlet Carnation Stakes, the Mary Duval Handicap, and the Sadie Hawkins Stakes. Third in the Baltimore Handicap of 1975. She was also the 1996 Maryland Broodmare of the Year. I don't know why that was. What did she breed there then? Might have been when Teppin. Was that when Teppin was going round? I don't know. I mean, why she must have bred something else there then, mustn't she, that I've not found? That is what made me think that now. There must be one here that's won a few quid somewhere that I've not looked at. Oh, yeah, Cap the Power, 168. Broodmare, I think it was for being maybe the tap-in, 1996. She would have been, that would have been her 1993 or 4 foals going round, wouldn't it? She herself was born in 1972. So she was definitely up for exploits with other horses, I would say. But yeah, an interesting horse, the fifth dam. Turn Cap. Melodist. is an interesting horse. Melodist, a mare, born in 1985, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, sired by the Minstrel out of Native Nurse. A Native Nurse, I think, is the next dam. If people look at Cap It Off, Turn Cap, sorry. Oh no, Noble Nurse, Gallant Nurse, Noble Nurse, and Gallant Nurse, you see. Gallant Nurse is the third dam of Melodist and also the third dam of Turn Cap. So we're getting a bit far away now. Winner at 2 in England, Melodist. Only raced 4 times according to this site. 2 wins and a second for earnings of £223,328 UK pounds. Second in the Geoffrey Freer Stakes. She won the Irish Oaks of 1988. She was also third in the Juddmonte Futurity. Winner at 1 start at 3 in Italy. That was the Italian Oaks as well. The champion 3-year-old filly. So you can tell that they're the only 4 races that she's had. She's done very well. So there's something's gone wrong there with the races there. But she did win the Irish and the Italian Oaks of 1988. Melodist, very interesting filly. But then, like you say, we're already finished now, looking at the direct lines, really, that I could find. So obviously we headed to Lineage of Thoroughbred. Lineage of Thoroughbred, a privately published book by Japanese vet Dr. Shigeru Hotta. He's a Japanese vet studying the pedigree and breeding of thoroughbreds in light of science, especially genetics. The 3rd edition of the book is no longer for sale, unfortunately. I didn't meet this man while this book was for sale. I'd have loved a copy of book 3, but not for sale. The 4th edition of the book will be issued around August 2025 at this stage. Not long to wait now. The book will contain a scientific review for thoroughbred pedigrees as follows. 46 pages in Japanese, 47 in English. Chapter 1, Importance of Dam Lineage. Chapter 2, Risk of Inbreeding. Chapter 3, Need for Scientific Education. And Chapter 4, Potential of the Unknown Gene. A gene so unknown that I identified the winners of 2 classics last week, and I don't know anything about it. Tree diagrams are interesting as well. Tree diagrams of dam lineage covering all the winners of Group 1 races, held until the end of 2020, which will fold in or after 2001. Incredible, really, that this website here, hotpedigree.com/lineage, contains all the dam lines of every single Group 1 winner in the world. Yeah, I know, it's incredible, isn't it? From 2022, New Year's Day, when Entrivier won the Railway Stakes. That must be in Australia or New Zealand, I should imagine. And to the 1st of June, this week, when Camille Pissarro won the Prix de Jockey Club and Quadanor won the Tokyo Yushin. 2 horses on Classic Watch, funnily enough. And so he's very up to date, this man. The book, it will be fantastic. There's ways you can contact Dr. Hotta on this website. He's left his email address here. People just click and contact Dr. Hotta with a view to ordering the book and paying him by PayPal. You can also contact Dr. Hotta on Twitter at Hotta_Shigeru. Contact this man and talk about this book. You know, this book is going to be a book people need if they are looking to identify horses. We had an in, you see, because he goes all the way back from 2022. We could look at Grateful, because Grateful was actually on this site. So Grateful, that is what we found when we looked at Grateful. I was thinking I must have missed something, but if I looked, you see, all the way back to 1931, there's no other Group 1 winners sired this century directly on this line apart from Tepin and Grateful. So, you know, I found a couple to pad it out a bit, going back to Turn Cap, but a lot of them, Smoke Blacken was after 2000, wasn't he? So he's not included on Dr. Hotta's images, you know, but Smoke Blacken would have been around there somewhere. He'd have probably been the most recent one I could find. But then the further we went back, there's horses like all these. American was one that was on both images. American was quite a long way back, though, like 7th dam or the 8th dam or something. But American was a horse on that one as well as the historical image. But look how Dr. Hotta had a great look around and found others that if we went back one dam to native nurse, a noble nurse, native nurse around that time, we'll find a couple more. He found an Argentinian mare that had bred 3 Group 1 winners. But we're so far back from our section. If we were out on Rosea, then we'd have been very close to them. But I didn't include a lot of these because they were a long way away from where we were, all the way up here. But we're going to take a look at some of them. But lineage of thoroughbred. hotpedigree.com/lineage. Dr. Shigeru Hotta. Very nice man. Hope to maybe be able to interview him one day when he's finished writing and compiling his book. So hopefully one day. You never know. But it found us a few more that I'd never have found in a million years, really, on this horse, More Spirit. Horse born in 2013, sired by Escandarea, out of I'm a Dixie Girl. More Spirit raced 14 times in his career, 6 wins and 5 seconds. 11 out of 14 in the first 2. Earnings of $1,668,400 US dollars. More Spirit. You probably first things first, we need to work out where we are. Look, we're a long way back, you see. Indian Nurse is the 5th dam of this horse, More Spirit. And cap it off. Indian Nurse and Gallant Nurse, you see. We're 5th or 6th dams already, of 5th or 6th dams. So we're even now getting quite far away from where we need to be. As Gallant Nurse, you see, the 6th dam of this horse is about the 7th dam of our horse. So we're very far away, really. But More Spirit won some races without any shadow of a doubt. That won the Group 1 Las Alamitos Futurity of 2015. He also was second in the Group 1 Santa Anita Derby at his best. He won the Metropolitan Handicap at 4, 2017 as well. More Spirit. Great Hunter, horse born in 2004, sired by Aptitude out of Zenith. Again, with Gallant Nurse and Great Nurse. Gallant Nurse, the 5th dam of this one. About the 7th dam of ours. Great Hunter won 3 out of 17 starts in the first 3 in 9 of 17. Earnings of $976,260 US dollars among his 3 victories. With victories in the Lanes End Breeders' Futurity, a Group 1 race in 2006. I think that was a Group 1 race. The 2-year-old race. He also won the Group 2 Robert B. Lewis Stakes as well. Placed in the Group 2 Delmar Futurity as well as the Best Pal Stakes. And the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he was 3rd in as well. Great Hunter. Stellar Wind, a mare, born in 2012, sired by Curlin out of Evening Star. Stellar Wind, another good mare, 10 wins out of 17 starts in the first 3 in 13 of 17 and earning $2,903,200 US dollars. Stellar Wind won the Santa Anita Oaks in 2015. She also won the Clement L. Hirsch Stakes in the next year and the Apple Blossom Handicap the year after as the Beholder Mile and another Clement Hirsch Stakes. Group 1 winner at 3, 4 and 5. They also won the Summertime Oaks, Group 2 and 2 Group 3 races, the Santa Isabel Stakes and the Torrey Pine Stakes. 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Good career, Stellar Wind, Eclipse Champion 3-year-old filly of 2015. Sadly not worked out for in the paddocks though, up to this stage. Even then, a bit further back, Flat Out, a couple of stallions now to end the video. One, if you go further back to Amaya, I don't know what dam Amaya is. I think he's after Gallant Nurse, isn't she? Gallant Nurse, Amaya. Yeah, so one further dam back gives us couple more decent stallions. Flat Out, another one that Dr. Hotta found that I'd never have found. A horse born in 2006, sired by Flatter out of Cresta Lille. People see that Amaya is the 5th dam of this horse. Put him there at 1967, the 2nd dam, nearly 19 years older than the 1st. Flat Out raced 29 times in his career, 9 wins, 5 seconds, 5 thirds. Good horse. 19 of 29 in the first 3 for $3,645,383 US dollars. Flat Out won some races. Look. At 5, 6 and 7, won the Group 1's Jockey Club Gold Cup and the Suburban Handicap at 5, Group 2. At 6, he won the JCG Jockey Club Gold Cup Invitational again at Belmont At 7, the horse won the Group 1 at Cigar Mile. Also won some more Group 2 races, the Suburban Handicap, and the Group 3 Winchester Stakes. Second in the Woodward and the Whitney. At 5, it's 6, the horse was placed in the Breeders' Cup Classic and the Whitney. And at 7, the horse was placed in the Woodward and the Jockey Club Invitational and the Metropolitan Handicap. Very good horse. Entered stud in 2014. 2020, he went to Mighty Aces in Oklahoma. 2025 fee, $3,000. And yeah, the horse still going strong at stud for the fee, like they said, $3,000. Actually signed 3 crops over 100. Yeah, that's how many American stakes races there are, though. A good indicator. This stallion, flat out. 664 foals have gone round side by him, and 463 of them have ran. Between them, 338 horses have won 1,454 races. So it's a horse that can stay full of silent winners. Side 23 individual stakes winners that have won 41 stakes races, but then only 3 individual graded winners that have won 4 graded races, and none for a while. None foaled since 2017. But the horse, his foals did drop off quite alarmingly after people only sussed out that he could sire stakes winners and not graded race winners. But the horse has made a reasonable career for himself at stud. No 2-year-old graded winners. And I'd say most of them, yeah, 400 have gone round in the USA and 52 have gone round in Canada. All his graded winners in the USA, the best of which is Pacific Gale, winner of the Gulfstream Park Inside Information Stakes. Group 2. Chateau won a Group 3. The Aqueduct Tom Fool Handicap as well. Earnings of over $52 million at stud. 23 stakes winners, 28 stakes place getters. So over 463 progeny to race. That's just repeating what I've just said. Yeah. 41 stakes winners. Oh, so it's not individuals then that says. Okay. Yeah, interesting horse. Very interesting horse, flat out. And then, of course, we've got Maximum Security, who was awarded the Kentucky Derby. Was he thrown out of the Kentucky Derby? Can't remember now. Thrown out. Of course he was. Maximum Security, born in 2016, sired by New Year's Day out of Lil Indy. You'll see there that Amaya is the 6th dam of that horse. Maximum Security won the Group 1 Florida Derby of 2019, and the horse also won the Haskell and the Cigar Mile and the Group 3 Bold Ruler Handicap. Also at 4, the horse won the Saudi Cup and the Pacific Classic Stakes at Del Mar, as well as the Group 2 San Diego Handicap. 2019 Champion 3-year-old. It doesn't even mention the Kentucky Derby on it. You can tell this was written by a supporter of Maximum Security, because that's probably what defined his career. Excuse me. Went to stud at Ashford Stud in Kentucky. The 2025 fee of $5,000. It's been there since 2021 now. And you have to say, really, that Coolmore will probably be disappointed with their investment. You see there, the horses only foaled 2 crops, 94 and 64. Maximum Security, 159 foals, 72 of them have won 33 races. You know, not even winning races, some of them. 33 winners have between them won 48 races, and the horses only sired 1 stakes winner, and who has won 2 graded races. 2 and 3. You'll see that one of them's gone round in France quite well. I've watched it go round a couple of times. 50 have gone round in the USA, and 2 have only gone round in France. Bestia Salvaggi, the horse is called, or something like that. It's up here quite high. Rosa Salvaggi, there it is there. Look. Placed 2nd in a listed race and 3rd in a Group 3. But Instant Replay has been the best, and that has won the Lone Star Park Texas Derby and the Oaklawn Park Boathouse Row Stakes. Placed 3rd in the Group 2 Louisiana Derby. I think it's fair to say that when Coolmore bought Maximum Security, they were expecting a lot better than what he's produced so far at stud. Quick look at Americain, the first French-trained horse to win the Melbourne Cup, foaled in 2005, sired by Dynaformer out of America. You'll see that Amaya is the 5th dam of this horse, which is about the 8th dam of ours. She gets through him on the dam side. Americain raced 34 times in his career, managed to win 11 times, 4 seconds and 4 thirds, 19 of 34 in the first 3, earnings of $5 million. $780,679. That might be Australian dollars because this horse won the Melbourne Cup. At 3, it also won the Group 2 in the days, V Contest Vigier of 2009. That race is a Group 1 race now. Won the Melbourne Cup at 5 in 2010. Also won the Group 2 Prix Cagorle, the Group 3 Geelong Cup. At 6, the horse won the Group 2 Moonee Valley Gold Cup and the Group 2 Zipping Sandown Classic. At 7, the horse was second in the Tancred Stakes and third in the Australian Cup. It was a good horse in France and Australia. Second in the Group 3 Prix de l'Hôtesse in France as well, at 3 in 2008. Last raced in 2012, went to stud in 2013. Suddenly euthanised in June 2022 due to a broken leg. Couldn't find any records showing any stakes winners though, anywhere. So I don't know how well the horse did at stud, or how big his crops were, but it's so far away that, but Americain is one that figured on Dr. Hotter's diagram and the historical diagram. You'll see there's our section there. Amaya, Gallant Nurse, Indian Nurse, but then ours falls off. You'll see Indian Nurse. It's not as Amaya, Gallant Nurse, Noble Nurse, the third dam of Turn Cap. Doesn't really get on the historical site, but there's Americain all the way down there, the Melbourne Cup winner of 2010. So that horse was added onto the site. So that's probably one of the latest ones that was added. But it was a good horse, this Delacroix could be, but it's not as obvious as some of others, is it? That I've found where I've been talking for hours about pedigrees, and we've had to look at probably 50 or 60 horses. We've not looked at nowhere near as many in this video, have we? And we've had to be a lot more selective and find and really have a good dig. It took me a while to line all these up. So what we can do now is we can close a few tabs down to save on some CPU and try and work out if Delacroix is a classic horse. His the entries will suggest he probably is. He is the 3-1 favourite for the UK Derby coming up this Saturday. He is also quite short for the Irish Derby coming up on the 29th of June. Could we be seeing the Derby double there? Is he in the Irish Ledger? No. The horse isn't in the Irish Ledger. So it's looking like a classic or a 10 furlong campaign. Rather like Los Angeles last year's, placed in the Derby, wasn't he? Then he came out and won the Irish Derby. And this year looks to have gone from strength to strength already. So very interesting. It's not related to each other, these two horses, just form, being campaigned in a similar way, aren't they? Delacroix, you'll see if people look at the form. We're going to take a look now at what proved to be his fourth race. He'd already been beaten second out of 4 in a Group 2 race by Green Impact at Leopardstown. This Group 3 Autumn Stakes, he went off quite a short price favourite for the next 4 races. This horse really has gone off short in every race apart from when he's got beat. Bit of a bookie's horse. So some of the prices they're looking up, if the horse delivers, they're looking a lot better than what people have had a chance at before. We're going to take a look at the Autumn Stakes now, the Group 3 that was ran in October 2024 and see what we think of it. It's normally quite an informative race.
So, they're off. Race with a mile the trip. Here the Royal Blue of Silver Peak may have been the slower of the sextet to get away. The purple jacket of best turned out winner Delacroix had the early lead, but Wolf of Badnock is going to go past him and take it up. Genealogy in the blue and orange travels strongly behind those in the early part of the race, and Little Bit heading to Stanhope Gardens over the far side. Then comes the broader of the white faces on the grey Night Walker with a She Murphy's alongside William Buick in the blue on Silver Peak. They've completed 2 furlongs in this Emirates Autumn Stakes, and it is Jamie Spencer on Wolf of Badenoch who leads. About a length, maybe a little bit less than that, to Ryan Moore and Delacroix running in second. Rossaran and Stanhope Gardens is wide of those in third position, and then the blue and orange jacket for Wayne Lorden on Genealogy alongside the pink cap of Night Walker and the blue jacket of Silver Peak. They're moving them to the halfway stage, and Wolf of Badenoch continues to lead. Brought him over to the grandstand side running rail, showing in front to Delacroix in second place. Then comes Stanhope Gardens with Silver Peak in the blue, 4 from the rails, but beginning to make progress. Genealogy and Nightwalker are with him as they head then down now with the 2 furlong marker in sight, and working hard Wolf of Badnock with now 1 from the left coming through Stanhope Gardens to join Delacroix in front. On the left is Silver Peak, Nightwalker behind those, down into the dip. Delacroix and Stanhope Gardens are doing battle in front. They're clear. Back in third place is Silver Peak. Nearest to us is Delacroix. Furthest from us, the white on the sleeve, Stanhope Gardens. Delacroix is very narrowly in front as they race towards the line. Delacroix and Ryan Moore just. Stanhope Gardens, Nightwalker, and then Silver Peak.
All right, interesting race that. Very difficult to know what to make of that. A lot of these horses are in the Stanhope Gardens, I think, and Nightwalker, the Best in Showdown line horse. Never ruled that one out, but it's just not won a pattern race or anything yet. Didn't win first time out. And it's beaten them. It's beaten them quite well, Delacroix there. It's held on to beat Stanhope Gardens by a neck to take out the Group 3 Autumn Stakes. And that was really his first pattern race victory at 2. He then was runner-up in the Group 1 Futurity, beating the nose by Hot As Hell. And he did improve that day, you'll see there, from 109 to 116 on his final 2-year-old start. So he was arguably unlucky not to win, beating the nose at a Group 1 race at 2. This year, come back at 3 and up to probably the lowest class middle distance of 1 mile 2 furlongs. This horse has been up to trip to 1 mile 4. He hasn't not really proved his stamina yet, has he, at the trip? The next 2 races we're going to look at are 1 mile 2 furlong race, Group 3 races, and they are both at Leopardstown. Again, what is usually an informative race at the end of March, the Group 3 P.W. McGrath Memorial Ballysack Stakes, held at Leopardstown. We're going to take a look at that race now and see what we think.
7 runners loaded, and dead off over 1.25 miles. The P.W. McGrath Memorial Ballysack Stakes, the third of the Group 3s on the card, and it is Delacroix on the inside. Mixing it early on with Tiberius Thunder, with in third place Lamburn. Then We Might Take the Long Way. Spicy Marguerite on the outside of the Grey Coat Puppet Master, and the back marker by over 2 lengths is Kibris. Inside the final mile, the leader is Delacroix and Ryan Moore by 3/4 of a length to Tiberius Thunder and David Egan. Third, improving, is We Might Take the Long Way, Dylan Brown McMonigal to shade third from Lamburn and Ronan Whelan, and then Spicy Margarita. Billy Lee in a plain white cap on the outside of Puppet Master Wayne Lorden, and trading the field is Kibris and Shane Foley. Continuing down the back straight with a little over 6 furlongs to go, soon at the halfway stage, and the leader is Delacroix from Tiberius Thunder close in second. Then We Might Take the Long Way, followed towards the halfway point by Lamburn, and then Puppet Master, Spicy Margarita and Kibris as they tighten up at the halfway stage. Delacroix with a fractional advantage over Tiberius Thunder, 1 out from the rail, being followed by Lamburn. Next is Spicy Margarita. We Might Take the Long Way. Right with them is Puppet Master, and 2.5 lengths back to Kibris. Little changes in the order. Delacroix and Tiberius Thunder together, being followed by Lamburn. Round the outer is Spicy Margarita. In by the rail, We Might Take the Long Way, followed by an edging closer Puppet Master, and then Kibris as they run round the home bend. Matched in, Tiberius Thunder, and on the inside, Delacroix, being chased down by Puppet Master. We Might Take the Long Way is next, and then Lamburn. Kibris relegates Spicy Margarita to be the back marker. Moving on in front is Delacroix and Ryan Moore, being followed by Tiberius Thunder. Lamburn kicks in on the outside of We Might Take the Long Way, and then Puppet Master, but it is Delacroix maintaining this lead over Lamburn, who's through in a second. It's Delacroix who starts back a winner of the Ballysacks, making just about all. Second, Lamburn, stable companion, and then Tiberius Thunder.
I thought that was a very good performance. You'll see when we look at the form of the horse that was its first run at that trip of 1 mile 2 furlongs, and Connections never really looked in any doubt at all that he would stay the trip, did they? They got their man straight out in front, and he made virtually every yard of the 10 furlong trip on good to yielding ground. carrying 9 stone 8. Don't forget the horse might have had a penalty in that race for his Group 3 win last year in the Autumn Stakes. That's the most weight the horse has carried in his career, 9 stone 8 there, for a good solid 2¼ length victory of a horse, Lambourne, that came out and won a pattern race at Chester, and I think the horse is going to run in the Derby. I do think they're going to allow Ballydoyle, going to allow Lambourne to take his chance. So it'll be interesting to see how that one gets on. But no, not for me, that one. But this one certainly is. And again, you will see that this horse has never been really campaigned with a mile races in mind at 3. They kept him to the level, and they asked him again to defy a penalty in the Group 3 race, the Derby trial, the Cashel Palace Hotel Derby trial. Might be the old Derringstown Stud race, that, the 11th of May race. Another Group 3 race held at Leopardstown. And I think this is arguably the horse's best performance so far. We'll watch it now and then see what we think.
5 loaded. And that off over a mile 2. The Cashel Palace Hotel Derby Trial Stakes is Group 3. Rock of Cashel is taking them along from Delacroix with the 3rd place Tennessee Stud. Purview won from last, and trailing the field early on is Acapulco Bay in a blue cab. So one settling down, the leader is Rock of Cashel and Gavin Ryan by less than 2 lengths to Delacroix and Wayne Lordan in 2nd. 3rd is Tennessee Stud and Dylan Brown McMonigal, followed by Purview and Chris Hayes with the back marker Acapulco Bay and Billy Lee. 7.5 furlongs to go. They're in single file. It is Rock of Cashel taking them along from Delacroix out to enhance his Derby claims, who's a couple of lengths in front of Tennessee Stud, Purview, and finally Acapulco Bay. Not a single change in the order of running with 6 furlongs to go. The Cashel Palace Hotel Derby Trial Stakes is Rock of Cashel, followed by stable companion Delacroix, then Tennessee Stud. Purview, 1 from 1, is 1 from last, and finally Acapulco Bay. So they turn at the halfway stage. Rock of Cashel with a reduced advantage from the closing up Delacroix, then Tennessee Stud, Purview, and lastly Acapulco Bay. 4 furlongs to go, and this is Rock of Cashel from Delacroix, inching closer in the purple and white. Delacroix tracked by Tennessee Stud, and then Purview and Acapulco Bay. Just over 3 furlongs to go as they run round the home turn, and it is Rock of Cashel reeled in by a smooth travelling Delacroix, a couple of lengths in front of Tennessee Stud, Purview, and a gap now to Acapulco Bay as they straighten at the 2, and it is Delacroix, 1 from the rail, who just picks it up from Rock of Cashel. Purview is trying to come into a challenging position, then Tennessee Stud and Acapulco Bay, but kicking at the furlong point is Delacroix, and suddenly is gone a good 3 lengths clear from Purview, and into the closing stages it is Delacroix backing up the Ballysaxton, the Derby trial for last year's winner Wayne Lordan and Aidan O'Brien. Purview 2nd with 5 lengths back to Tennessee Stud.
The horse Delacroix looks very uncomplicated, doesn't he? I mean, that was another pretty good performance, it's fair to say, beating Purview, the one Juddmonte horse, against 4 Coolmore horses there. Beating Purview by 2¼ lengths, running to a Racing Post rating of 117. The red hot 1-3 favourite on the day, taking out the Derby trial lot. That was arguably his most impressive performance, but it was arguably the weakest field he took on. Very good horse this could be. We're going to find out a lot about this horse, I think, in this race. The Guineas winner has turned up. The Lion in Winter, top quality 2-year-old last year, seems to have turned up. There's some decent horses in this year's Derby that have got some interesting reputations. And this horse, I think, sired by Dubawi, the Godolphin's woes with horses sired by Dubawi have been well documented over the years, haven't they? Over a mile and a half round Epsom. So it'll be interesting to see how Coolmore get on with this horse, Delacroix, sired by Dubawi. Is he a classic horse? Well, they seem to have him entered in both the UK and the Irish Derby at this stage, and not at all interested in any St Ledgers. So it's looking like just the 2 1 mile 40. If Delacroix was not to stay this trip, then he might not even take his place in the Irish Derby. Who was to know? We're going to find out very much about this horse over the next week or so. Hopefully he will take his chance in the UK Derby, for which I think he's still the favourite at this stage. But we'll see. Be an interesting race, the UK Derby, as it always is, around the tricky contours and turns of Epsom. Right, I think I can leave this video here now at some point. Thank you very much for everybody who has stayed and watched the video. It's always very much appreciated. What I will do is I'll leave you a copy of a playlist, a YouTube playlist of Classic Watch 25 possibles, just so you can have a look at all the possibles worldwide, if that takes your fancy. And I will also give people who have sat and watched a video going over 55 minutes without subscribing to this channel an opportunity to do so and subscribe. I think you enjoy. If you sit here after 55 minutes, you must enjoy this sort of thing. So hopefully, touch wood, there'll be plenty more of it to come. So why not subscribe to the channel? And that way you will not miss any more content at all. So we'll leave it there now. Like I said earlier in the video, plenty of interesting racing upcoming this week. The UK, Derby and Oaks. Queensland in Australia, Derby and Oaks. Belmont Stakes in America, headline in the week. But for now, I will leave this video here. Thank you very much to everybody for taking the time to watch it. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week and the upcoming weekend as well. Take care, everybody, and goodbye.